Is the bracket system about power? Certainly the highest and lowest brackets. Ones aren't built with winning the game in mind and nothing but winning for the fives. But what about 2 through 4? I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's back it up. Last year, the Commander Rules Committee disbanded, handing the fan favorite format to Wizards of the Coast. WotC, to their credit, has done a good job with the format. They have retained the ban list other than the cards that should not have still been banned, and biggest of all, came up with a way for the community to categorize their decks. They laid out guidelines and brought attention to unsavory playstyles we should avoid. You might be asking, what authority do they have to tell us how to play? What right does anyone have? In competitive environments, I agree. You should use any available tool to win. The best cards or strategies should be available. The only exception is when there is an overwhelmingly oppressive playstyle where you have no choice in deck building but to play those cards. That's where bans come into play. They say you are no longer allowed to play with these powerful cards. You might think restricting the cards you are allowed to play with from an already small pool of powerful cards would stifle deck building. On the contrary, a weaker or slower format allows for greater deck diversity. Without such a large, looming shadow, more cards can shine. I am pro bans, ban it up. So while in competitive play there are no holds barred, play what will let you win, Commander, on the other hand, is not a competitive format. I have said this in a previous video. Commander is the board game of Magic the Gathering, but you get to bring your own pieces with you. That presents an insanely difficult balancing issue into the most popular format of their game. If you were playing chess, wouldn't you be tempted to bring 15 queens and 1 knight? Commander has access to almost every card ever printed. With this in mind, where they would never say don't play Izzet Cauldron decks in Standard. In Commander, they have started saying maybe don't play extra turn spells over and over again. Among these playstyles, WotC also highlighted specific cards they call game changers.
This card ends games! Oh no, no, no!
Game changers are a list of 109 cards that, if you include even one, will immediately categorize your deck as a bracket 3. The game changers are interesting to quantify. You have some competitive staples. You have some cards that are miserable to play against, but not necessarily powerful. And you have some cards that are listed in the broader things to avoid in the brackets, yet are listed here anyway. For example, Mass Land Destruction is condemned in the brackets, so they didn't need to include Armageddon. Yet, Extra Turns is also condemned, but Expropriate is on the Game Changers list. What makes a card a game changer is unclear. What do all of these cards have in common? I think the broader card types and the specific cards themselves are, put very simply, unfun. This is what ties them all together. Some aren't fun because of their playstyle, some aren't fun because of how they affect the game, and some aren't fun because of how you don't get to play the game, you watch someone else play. Okay, we found our definition. Game changers are cards that will undoubtedly affect the game and will do so in an unfun way. Not a bad definition. But what does it mean to have fun? Yeah, we're doing this. Fun is anything that brings amusement or enjoyment. There are 2 types of fun. You can have fun in the moment. You can be hanging out with your friends over an interesting game. The second type of fun, you can have a miserable time that was or will be fun in retrospect. Like a bad date. Bad dates, they're torturous. You can't help but look at the clock. But when you get home and you're talking with your homies, it's hilarious. Not to mention, if it's a terrible double date, you and your friend will talk about it forever. In Magic terms, I recently got Emrakul. I had no response, so I watched in horror as my incredible board, my awesome synergies, were ignored completely. I was playing Amalia, so my opponent killed my Starscape Cleric by running it into Emrakul, milled me with Takenuma, drew me cards with my Knight's Whisper, and cast a ton of creatures, gaining me life and putting the cards that Amalia explored into the graveyard until I had no library. In the moment, it sucked. But looking back, it was incredible. Watching him puzzle out how to kill me, all of the pieces lining up just right. I didn't see the line, but he did. What's hilarious is he could have killed his other 2 opponents, but he was so focused on the puzzle of killing me, he ignored them and was knocked out as soon as he passed his turn to them. Alright, close your eyes and think about some of the most fun you've had. While you do that, I will introduce the secret 3rd type of fun. This is the type of fun that is objectively no fun at all, but subjectively thrilling. Okay, open your eyes. In your memory, was there an element of danger or rebellion?
To this rebellion!
Diego Luna. You know, I've been told by 2 people that I look like him. My wife's best friend's husband, who I'll just call my friend, and some random guy as I was boarding a plane. I can see it. There's something about a small act of rebellion or a hint of danger that can make any activity a little fun. Just look at adrenaline junkies. Healthy, responsible things that don't adversely affect others is really fun. That's why teenagers are the way they are. As we age, we are told that following the rules is maturity. The problem with this is we can feel the most alive, form the greatest connections and bonds with others when we act out together. Have you ever been somewhere you aren't really supposed to be? Have you ever broken the rules? Not to put yourself ahead of others, but just because you think you can get away with it? This may bring a small thrill, but once you share this experience, this joke just for the 2 of you, a mundane act can become a treasured memory. I admit there is a fine line between innocent rebellion and being a jerk. Please stay far away from that line. Rebel responsibly. It's fun. Sports are a healthy avenue for this kind of fun. You're never in any real danger, but your brain doesn't know the difference between that and simulated danger. Not to mention, your body is releasing endorphins, you have people relying on you and you are depending on them, and you are probably outside. Sports are fun.
You did it. Yeah.
How can we simulate any of those things in Magic? What about Magic is rebellious? I think the game is resonating and growing with so many people because it is, in its very essence, rebellious. It isn't on your phone. It isn't part of the giant video game industry or social media industry. Where those things have increasingly promoted isolationism, Commander, the social format, has only grown. Similar to D&D. When the world was forced into loneliness, social games exploded. Talking with strangers is rebellious. Or maybe I'm talking out my butt. A lot of people love this game, yet there is a sentiment that actually playing isn't fun at all. The Command Zone had an entire episode about this. So with this sentiment in mind, and what we have learned about fun today, what can we do? Let's go through some of the avenues people take to have fun in this game. Some people find ruining other people's fun, fun. The psychopaths. Some people don't have fun unless they are winning.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Some people just like to hang out. Some people have the most fun by themselves, scrolling through Scryfall, looking at cards, thinking about how people will praise them for finding such obscure cards and making them work so well together. All of that is valid. Whatever brings you amusement or enjoyment is by definition fun. But can this game, and how can this game, bring you lasting fun? Fun that doesn't just make the seconds tick by faster, but will brighten your day. Before I continue, I want to put forth the call to action here. Go to the comments and let me know specifically and in detail what about this game is fun for you. What about this game is the first category of fun, in the moment fun? What about this game is the second category where you look back and like, oh man, that was pretty funny, being Emrakul? And is this game fun in the third type of way? Is this game fun because it's just a shared resistance? I am genuinely so curious. This game is so wide and so deep, and I am just one person. So please add to the discussion below. And while you're down there, maybe press the subscribe and the like button. Olivia Goldberg Hicks, a pillar of the community, views this format in a way I disagree with.
You can only put 33 counters in each turn.
Yep. That's insane.
I won't. That wins me the game. That wins me the game. That's no fun.
I love the idea behind this, but I think it only really makes an impact if it comes about naturally. She is onto something though. People remember how the game makes them feel. The details will blur. The feelings remain. What do I think? Unsurprisingly, I think it is the people that makes the game fun. The mechanics are awesome, the flavor so juicy. The intellectual property is present, but there's a reason I don't play Arena. How can you have more fun with this game? Get to know the people you are sitting across from. If you are having a hard time connecting with the people at your table, ask them about their deck. I'm sure you have heard how to make friends is have people tell you about themselves. Everyone's favorite subject is themselves after all. Well, Commander is known as the format of self-expression, and you have the perfect icebreaker sitting in front of you. Compliment their card choices or their big plays. If they're playing a precon, talk about how their precon is a good one, and how you like that it includes Arcane Signet or something. People may remember a joke you said. That's what I'm hoping every time I open my mouth. But I can guarantee you, people will remember how you made them feel seen and heard and welcome when you ask them about themselves. Last thing I want to say about fun, and this will tie back into the brackets. I love volleyball. It doesn't happen anymore, but back in college, I would join the occasional pickup game. I'm decent. Depending on the day, I could be pretty good. No matter what though, there always seemed to be a duo that was taking the pickup game way too seriously. I'm a firm believer that you should play at the level of the worst player. It's like hiking. The slowest walker leads the pack. But this duo would only set for each other, and they would always go for the spike. I'm not advocating for playing to intentionally lose or not playing at 100%. I'm saying there's a time and place for everything. Spiking the ball into the face of someone just hoping to have fun over and over again is a selfish way to play. Thankfully, there's a reverse to the jerks that always set for each other, and that is the full-time setter. All my homies love a full-time setter. They're the best player on the court, but instead of having a power trip at everyone else's expense, they're using their skills to bolster their team. They don't rotate, they may not even face the other team. They're so focused on setting for their team, that's all they care about. If there is a duo that always sets for each other and spikes the ball, the full-time setter will always be by the net to block. The full-time setter is a true hero. To answer the question that started this video, is the bracket system about power? I don't think they are. I think brackets are about the experience you want to have. Now, that experience could include power, but I don't think it's strictly all about that. I would categorize most of my decks as that of a bracket 4, but I build all of my decks under the restraints of bracket 2. I don't include any game changers in my decks, not one. I had a couple before the announcement was made, but I view that list as a list from the community, from the creators of the game, and from the people that are organizing it, as a list of unfun cards. So I don't play those. I do have a mono blue infinite turns deck, but I only pull it out when people ask me to. Just because you want to build powerful decks, and we all do, doesn't mean you need to build a bracket 4 deck. You don't need to include combos or tutors or mass land destruction or game changers to change someone's day. I think we can get so caught up in trying to have fun that we can forget to just have fun. Thank you for watching.